Hello and welcome to Caleb's now becoming an unk, so he has to share his unk wisdom. I wanted to talk about something close to my heart, and this is something that I think about would I want to post this? This is the kind of video, but I'm probably going to post it anyways. Now, this is for a just like an audience of one, truthfully. And I wanted to share just how I felt. So, you guys are the viewers, so you guys can enjoy and listen on. Um, I think about you so much still. You have almost been ingrained into my physical body, and there's always a part of me that wonders, what if it did work out, you know? What if I made a different decision? What if I was just more I was just more informed about who I was as a person? And what if I didn't have my weaknesses that I know I have? I wonder where we would be at. And the truth of the matter is, I still do hold space for you. Is it love? If it is, it sucks. But I want to talk to you. That's it. And I just want to say, you have one of the purest hearts that I've ever met in raw truth. You work so hard, and you've been working hard to get to where you are now. And yeah, I just wanted to share with you my heart. So, things didn't end well. Things weren't pretty. As a matter of fact, I think for myself, it was one of the worst pains of my life. I remember I was in the car when I found out that you had moved on. It was kind of like getting punched in the gut and then also losing a race, and then at the same time getting struck by lightning. It was like all three of those things kind of at once. And I've never been more mad in my entire life that I really missed the opportunity. Kind of just letting sand fall out of your hand and watching it just kind of slowly dissipate out of it. I just felt like I was in shock with so many new experiences, and truthfully this is what real love is it's hard, it's terrifying, and it's also one of the most euphoric, and also truthfully one of the most satisfying feelings in the world, is to have someone by your side, someone that you truly do love. So that's just part of it. um I think I made a lot of mistakes. One of them is being way too inflexible with marriage. No one wants to just be placed inside of the marriage circle. truthfully. Um, no one wants to have that kind of like commitment thrown out. I think that was just something that was ingrained in me, is like, if you want someone to be intimate with, like, you get married. But I I didn't think about how, I didn't really like process like how you would like feel about that. And so I'm sorry about that. Um Also, I take a really really long time to process emotions correctly, rather than just kind of blowing over them. I'm someone that's kind of been used to being alone, um, and kind of independently, just emotionally, like majority of my life. I know like it may seem on the outside that I have like friends and people and um, like surrounding me, but there's not many people who will really kind of like know you for you. And you were one of them who did know me. But the truth of the matter is, I remember you told me like you knew me. And that kind of bothered me. I was like, no, you don't know me. Like, I know me. And I'm still learning about who I am. It might take a really long time. Like, how do you know me? Like, what do you see? So I guess like that was also something. Um, Love is not something you win at. It's not a competition. It's an experience. And I got to experience the beauty of it and also the pain of it. And now I'm in a place of just like seeing it for what it was. I have a really hard time now looking at other prospects of people to get intimate with, because you were also someone that I like grew up with. And there's something different when you fall in love with someone who you know for a really long time. And to be honest, I always thought like it was unsaid, but like we were kind of already, we acted like a married couple. We had a big friend group, and it was like we were just mom and dad, and we got to play kids. Of course, too, we weren't the only couples, but like it was it was like a quiet, unsaid, like happy marriage between two best friends. Now, I was super religious. I say was because everything pointed back to like, don't sin, don't sin, don't. There was so many rules and regulations of just like how to live your life, and I never really understood that the other side of it was, you know, the authentic part of myself. Like, I didn't know myself. I didn't know like the true depths of just kind of like my own psyche per se. But I think one thing was like I always loved like just like sharing with you, um, just like how I felt, and also too like gossiping and talking about stuff and being like, yeah, this, and also too there were many times where I was like, man, like I I would totally marry this girl. And then it kind of just like bled into what I think was rushed rushed commitment. But we never really even did date. We really just kind of just unsaid. Now, I know it's kind of like late to talk about this, but I still want to know that you're okay. I still want to like be like, I hope she's safe. And there's always going to be a part of me that's like, if something happens to her, like if some person tries to hurt you or anything, like I will personally avenge you. But I think the person that you're with is exactly who you're supposed to be with. Man, it was really hard. It was really really hard to let you go, man. Um After I kind of cut it off because like I was like, well, she doesn't want to get married. Okay. Like like that's where I'm headed towards. And you're always afraid of like, yeah, I won't say that, but like your independence is very important to you. And I know myself now. And I think I'm the type of person that really might seem like he has it together, but doesn't really have it together on the inside. Maybe a little psychotic, maybe a lot crazy, but doesn't want to hurt something precious that's close to him. But then also tends to cage what's meant to be free. And I I learned to let you go through the process of contemplation. And what I want to like say is I feel like there's like two parts of me. I mean, there's always parts of people, you know? Like there's the shadow, and then there's the person that kind of is the spokesperson for all of that person. But let me get to it. So when I found out that like you had moved on, and when I say move on, I mean do the deed. That that is like when you're still like, okay, like I have another chance, like I'm like I'm gonna try again. When you kind of like realize like, oh, this is the end of this one. It's groundbreaking. But when I found out, I decided like I'd go on a hike. I went on a hike and I prayed. I prayed that your relationship with this person would last. And I prayed like that you would be blessed in like this next season. And I remember hearing this part of myself scream like, fuck you, like I'm gonna hate you for this, Caleb. But I imagined that before the rage, before the anger and all of the hate that like came about, I wanted to protect you, and that's something that I think I righteously did. I think I protected you from myself. But a scorpion, when it doesn't want to hurt nobody, it just stings itself. And I had so much poison in my soul for a really long time, but now I have an immunity, and also this anxiety that comes with even approaching another person in a relationship. I'm not crying, by the way. I just got the sniffles. I'm gonna blow my nose. I also got to meet him, and he is cool. He is a great guy. I don't have any, I think he's someone who's super strong, super adept. And so, I remember, having this inner conflict of, God, I want to hate this guy. I just want to hate him. But then I was like, dude, there's nothing wrong with this person. Matter of fact, I think he is going to take care of her a lot better than you could. And that's true. I'm a slow grower. I always get this feeling that whatever I say is not really what I'm trying to say, but I just hope that this makes sense, per se. And this is not a call to draw out the past, but to kind of reflect on it. I don't think I think I'll say this often. I'll be like, yeah, the reason I am the way I am nowadays is because she broke my heart. Just absolutely shattered it. And I remember too, you told me that you would break my heart. But I'm glad that you did, because I was able to figure out so much more about myself. And man, being able to have a taste of love and something also deeper, just authentic experience, that's something you can't just watch a movie and experience. You have to experience it for yourself, and I got that opportunity too. Now, in a perfect setting, if it did work out, I think me and you would have completely dipped from the day-to-day that we experienced. We would travel. We would probably go out together. I also hope you know this, but I tried almost every year to reach you. I remember the first time I kissed you, and it was I was actually so immature. I was telling her, I was like, oh my God, I kissed her. But he didn't like that. So that was my bad. But then I learned from it, and my heart broke a little bit, but you did your own thing. And then I tried again the next time. Well, was it tried again? It was more it was more like it was a blind date and I wasn't expecting you. Nothing wrong with that. It's just like I was shocked. I was like, how do I deal with this one? I'm filled with so much confusion. And truthfully, it was just true confusion. I was totally expecting some random individual, so I prepared like that. But how do you prepare when it's someone in a red dress that is your best friend for 8 years and you're like, oh, like, I know this person deeply. And it goes deeper because my heart breaks again. And here's the thing is I think I'm being selfish. I think your heart broke too. And there's so much insecurity and anxiety on your side, and also too probably frustration. Um, I just really didn't want to mess up. That's it. And that perfectionist inside of me was like, don't fuck it up. So I was like, I'm not going to mess it up. I'm not going to mess it up. And the next thing I know, I mess it up. Um, but next, I go into a relationship and then that didn't work out. So then I remember me and you ended up hanging out, and I totally was just, it was terrible timing. It was absolutely terrible timing. I was not reading the situation, but I think you were like, I'm here, take me. And I was like, no, I was just unaware. Of course, too, I really wanted to experience being with you. No, um, to the point where we did finally kind of like make that jump. And it took a lot of courage. It took a lot of courage to kind of like come up again to you. It felt like a race, or not a race. It felt like a challenge to just win you over. And instead of like learning, I started getting anxiety. I was super anxious because my worst fear was it would end up the way that it is now. And once you go through that kind of fear, it's kind of like you can become pretty fearless in life. Now, one thing that I really wish I did differently was communicate. Not excessively, anxiously, but in person, and just kind of like be okay that I disagree or I feel upset with you. I think one thing that I'm learning is how to be completely honest, not just, sugarcoat shit all the time. Moving out to Colorado, one of the reasons why I moved out was so I could kind of get away from like being reminded. And to be 100% honest, I just would pass by your house and I would be like, God damn it. For the longest time. And then also too, I remember before I left, you were the one who drove me to the airport. And if I'm being completely honest, like, I was like, why are you driving me to the airport right now? What is this? But I was actually really happy. Um, and also a little angry. You see, I think you deserve to know, but I've never been more mad at a person that is not my family. You are the first. You are the first to actually like you are one of the first people, can I be honest? You're one of the first people to actually aggravate me and frustrate me to a point where I have to go so deeply contemplative, like really, really working on the atoms of my thoughts to rewrite things and be like, that's you can't say that, you can't do that. But it pissed me off, man. And I love that. Oh my god. I think I have ADHD. I'm pretty sure I do. But like afterwards, it gets me to do shit. So I think you got me to do a lot of stuff that I was meant to do. Now, going back to you dropping me off at the airport, I love you for that. Thank you. Also, I was like, girl, you are in a relationship with another man. Do not make me, like, have to hold shit back, which I ended up having to, because I remember as you were crying, it felt like I was just distant, like I was like in a movie theater all alone, just in my head watching you cry. And I'm like, yeah, this bitch deserved that, you know? But then at the same time, there is this one fucking guy in my head saying, kiss her before you leave. Do it. Do it. And then that crowd grows in my head and is like, kiss her. So when I was leaving, and you gave me one of the most precious hugs. There's many precious hugs I think you've given me, and also times where I've suffocated you by accident or hurt you with my collarbone because, who squeezes a person straight into their bone? Well, I really did want to kiss you goodbye. But that self-righteous asshole was like kicking everybody out, the ones that wanted to see a happy ending. And I'm glad that I didn't kiss you. I'm glad that I made the right decision. But who fucking likes right decisions? It's always in the mistakes that changes, you know? I think one thing too is like, I kind of hate the fact that, when you're mad or upset, you say things. And so it paints the picture. But sometimes when you're painting a picture and it doesn't really look like how you want it to come out, or like what you're trying to say, or like what you really want to kind of like say so you can experience the truth. I sometimes wish it was just me and you, just you pick a location but completely isolated, not in a sense where it's creepy, but like maybe an open field, and we are in fucking Howl's Moving Castle, the flower bed field, and we're just able to actually talk. like without anybody. Be as intimate as possible and be as free as possible so nothing goes unsaid. But of course, I don't like cheaters. I absolutely hate cheaters. That's why I got so mad, because I was like, oh, she's cheating on me. She wasn't cheating on me. We weren't even in a relationship. So, Caleb, shut the fuck up. But, like, there's two voices in my head. There's two narratives. One that exists and one that does not. But was like it's like the ending everybody wanted. And the ending I wanted was a real goodbye. I never really got that. So, with all this, we're just gonna imagine me and you, Howl's Moving Castle. Calcifer is chilling. The castle is just sitting on the grass field. There's a bed of flowers. There's blue flowers, red flowers, maybe orange flowers, purple flowers, all the types of flower colors that are just beautiful to see. Me and you are sitting down, and we're just lying down talking. And then I get to be like, hey, goodbye. And then I kiss you. And then I dissipate. And that is what I would like to say to you. So, thank you for making me become the person that I am, even though it was one of the hardest characters to play. Because a part of me feels like life is literally just like, an improv place. Like, it's a place of just improv, and me and you were building each other's character up. But you had to play the hardest character, and that's also doing the truthful thing, and that's choosing the thing that I would love for you the most, and that's to love yourself. Do the loving thing. So with that is my podcast. Thank you for listening. I love you, and I love you all. Good night. And goodbye.